All right. Before I take off all the gear and rearrange everything, because I'm gonna take off basically all of Yixuan's gear and move it over to Minato. We're gonna fight against this guy, Yixuan, Yixuan, whatever. It doesn't matter. Anomaly proficiency build-up rate 40%, 40 when every 500 decibels. So every time we do an attribute anomaly, we get 500 decibels and more attack. Which again, while it's good for anomaly units, can't scale off of attack. It's not optimal for them. It's just that Miyabi uses it. But anyway, agents deal 20% more damage and attacks ignore 10% of damage resistance. So this looks pretty good for Yixuan. Attack specialty agents increases by 20%. Basic attack damage increases by 40% and ignores 30% of enemy defense, which this isn't very good because Miami penetrates, or Yishuan penetrates 100%. Agent shear damage increases by 15%. Agents with rupture specialty hit enemies with attacks ignore 50% of damage resistance. That's pretty good. The fact that we don't have fire might not be too bad. After activating an EX special attack, agent fire damage increases by 40%. That's ridiculous. But yeah, we'll just have to make do with this one. So the team I'm bringing into this is, like I said before, this one. Hopefully everybody's equipped the way they
I
should
can
be.
help you ward off misfortune and disaster.
56. I didn't show off the builds in the other one. I've been tweaking Yishuan a lot, so this is her build. Um, yeah, just what it is. This is her skill ups. This is her gear. Uh, this one's pretty good. That pen ratio kind of sucks, but whatever. It's literally just a waste. Um, this needs to be replaced by something better, but I can't find anything better, so here it is. This is unbelievably good, just ridiculous. So is this one. This isn't too bad, and this isn't too bad, so whatever. Uh, Pulchra is a damage dealer in this because the main stunning responsibility is Dialyn. So here we've got um, Pulchra running this, who her job is to give stacking buffs to Yishuan. Um, these two are her main things. This her little aftershock attacks are scaled off of this, and then her ult is really good. So I maxed those out, and then again, she's kind of a secondary damage dealer, especially against this boss who's physical weak. Having her deal some damage and then kind of paired up with Dialyn is a decent amount. Um, she's at 65 crit chance, but with her one of her mindscapes, it gives her 10%, so she's at 75. The pen ratio is because it's like it's as good as this piece gets. I don't have any other good. Like I have this, but again, it's ether, and it's not even that good anyway. So unfortunately, the problem is it's just that. And then on top of that, like I don't have any good, these pieces. This isn't too bad. And then maybe I can replace something else here. Let's see. Do I have crit rate, attack? Maybe give her something like this, but she's missing a lot of crit rate without it. If I do this and then over here, like I'm dropping one crit rate roll here, and then I'm dropping another crit rate roll here if I go with like this, right? So the problem is it's just the crit rate's too valuable to lose it. It's not that big a deal, but it's good on this team because. And then here, here's a technique. Her running her stun weapon, you don't get stuns faster than her not running it in this team because you have two stunners. So what that opens up for you to do is something stupid like running this, because it gives her a higher base attack. Plus, you're running now 140. Again, losing the impact doesn't mean anything because you're not gonna get more stuns anyway. So this is how I run Pulchra when she's paired up in this team because she gives out 30% damage bonus from this. If you get Mindscape 6, this applies to everything, not just aftershock. So 30% damage bonus, a little bit of supplemental impact and days, um, plus off-field extra attacks, as well as offering this here for quick assisting into her, out of her, right? So all in all, this is just kind of where I run her. Then we're looking at Dialyn here. These are her stats. This is kind of her final build. All her skill ups are maxed out except for this one because she doesn't on field very much, so her dodge doesn't really matter. And this is the gear I have on her. Um, two, three, two are just maxed out here. One and then two. This is the set. I'm running this. and energy regen here, because that's really all she needs. So yeah, that's that. Yeah, let's just get in there. That took way too long just explaining the gear. Yeah, it was like 5 minutes of explanation. Let's see how this buff affects my team compared to last time. Okay, so I have a better idea of how to fight this guy, so let's kind of showcase. Now I'm doing this to get more technique points. My gosh, just keep spamming. Now my ult is almost up already. Right? Oh, this is going terribly.
Reality and illusion.
I think I hit too early. Nope, I didn't.
Let's hurry up. Allow me. Big talking. More faith is sealed. Up to cream. Keep your guard up.
You want to swap over into her every so often, just because she still does pretty good damage against this guy. You want this phase to end as fast as possible.
Stay focused. An opening. Let's make this quick. Weakling.
Oh, I could just burn this here. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. You just need to get the debuff on him. That's all for that.
Close, but still
I ran out of blocks there. What I should have done there was use Pulchra.
strength and finesse. Concentrate.
There we go.
Still.
And this.
No more games. Let's go. Allow me. Today's work order. Kick some evil. Zombie card.
The ult, and then the ult again.
With yet still, clear yet murky.
This run is not as optimal as it could be. I'm missing a lot of stacks from Pulchra, obviously. During the last time, last time I had maintained like at least 2 stacks on Pulchra basically the entire time. This time, obviously, it's kind of hard.
Strength and finesse. More faith is sealed.
Where am I? I'm at least 20. Yeah, it's just a question of where I can hit.
Obliterate sword and spirit. Release. Clarity and beg
This
for
is
mercy.
why having Pulchra on more days doesn't mean anything, because I'm not going to get another stun anyway.
What a nuisance.
There you go, 25k. Last time I got up to 27, I think that's what the record was. Again, that was like you're squeezing a lot of execution out of a very small window. You only get like 3 stuns out of this guy, and having Pulchra there, which to me it's kind of crazy because if I go Yixuan, Panda, and Dialyn, I don't get more stuns if I go with Pulchra and Dialyn, right? Having 2 stunners doesn't get me another stun, which I think is kind of crazy, but I don't know how that works exactly. I think you probably get, I mean, it's kind of obvious, you probably just get diminishing returns, but it's still interesting that like how well they can scale that, you know what I mean? How hard it is for you to get that extra just that little bit of extra stun window capacity. So that's all that. But yeah, the Thrall. He took a little while to get used to. He's not super complicated. It's just when he does that phase where he's in a miasma and then they start attacking you in a row, you have to kind of time the parries because when miasma priest used to do that, you just spam the parries as fast as you can. This one, if you do that, it'll throw you out of position, and then you'll miss one, and then it's over for you. So whenever he's in that state, that's the main thing. Um, the other thing that's important is you want to parry as much as possible. When he goes up in the air and he's like floating around all crazy, like he looks kind of like Yixuan when she's doing her ult. You want to parry that because that puts him in the weakened state and you just beat him up. So yeah, it's nothing too complicated. It's just again the fact that it's new is like, oh, what's going on? And then after you fight him a few times, like, oh, okay, it's the same thing every time. But yeah, so not too bad. Um, yeah, in the next video we'll do Wandering Hunter and we'll show off what Monado can do. So yeah, till next time.